you're a musician who thinks, maybe I'm good enough, just try. Maybe this is a part of your journey to becoming better. Maybe you're right on that level, you wanna be a part of this. Howdy, my name is Ryan Garza and I make experimental alternative music. I wanna say a big thank you to Raps and Apps and the Coastal Bend Community Foundation for giving us the golden mic and making this all possible for local musicians. Well, I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas, and music in my household growing up was pretty constant from a young age. My parents loved listening to music. My mom was a saxophone player. She never really played it much, but she played the radio a lot, and I became obsessed with the radio at a young age. Like I got this little cassette player and I would record songs that I liked. And I started getting my first instruments at a young age too. My first guitars were little kid guitars and stuff like that. In my high school, I was at a bunch of church bands and I started to make money, and I was doing gigs on the side as well. So it was like, I think that was around the time like I started to think I want to pursue this more. And people were encouraging me as well, a lot of teachers and friends and family. I've been improvising music since I was young, but I think my first written song was in middle school when I first started twiddling around on the guitar. It was just like a love song or something like that. I think I first had started to do it to get attention, but then I feel like I was just doing it more for the love of the game, of the songwriting, if you will. So yeah, I think that's about the time when I was like, okay, I really want to make music. And I never stopped since then. I've been continuing. When things feel slow, uncertain in the music industry, remember that the art is where it starts. Obviously, I want to pursue bigger and greater things with the musical career. At the end, I like to have a good time, and I want to make sure that the artistry is put first. Not worrying about things being slow or whatever, just keep creating is my mantra. What's different about me today? I'm more mature for sure, because I've had a kid since then. And I think that's like changed me in a lot of ways. It's made me like softer, more patient, more goal oriented. You know, I want to be cool for my daughter. I want her to see her dad do cool things. That's definitely the biggest change for sure. Being a musician in the Coastal Bend is important to me because it's where I grew up, and it's where I really started to like connect with other musicians. So even the times that I've spent in other cities, because I spent some time in Houston and Chicago and Providence, Rhode Island, and I'll meet other musicians, but like coming back and playing with the same musicians and even meeting new musicians in my hometown through other musicians, it feels like home. There are special places to do that, like the Exchange, of course. And I know where all those places are here, so it's nice to come back and just come back to home places and play with home people. When I first started playing music in the Corpus Christi scene long ago, it was a lot of just professional musicians playing in cover bands and stuff like that, and there was just a handful of fantastic, local bands. Now it's just so many local bands, and now the cover bands play originals too, and everyone's like playing each other's. Like I cover other local artists around here, other local artists cover me. The creativity is off the charts right now, I think. I think people in other cities haven't given it a chance. If you don't know what's going on with the music scene, I would invite you to just go out and explore, because there's a lot of venues that could use you coming through. I think people long for community a lot these days, and it's a great place to find it at a show. Some local musicians I respect and draw inspiration from would be Tres Mats, who I've collaborated with many, many times. They're a huge inspiration for me. Recently, I've discovered Gus and the Controllers, and I played some show with them last week, and these guys are crazy. They got an 11-year-old drummer who's also like kind of the front man, but there's also another front man, and then there's a bassist who plays guitar, and he puts guitar effects over his bass, so he's basically playing both at once. And their show is fantastic. So that's a recent one. Also another recent one, Vashti Rose and the Thorns, who I played for, opened for last week. They're fantastic, kind of indie, jazzy, acoustic style music. Guy plays an upright bass in that group. I also love Clarissa Serna as well. Love listening to her tunes. I've played drums for a few times. So, and she's such a fantastic singer and a local powerhouse in the community. Shayna Sands, that's kind of a old school one, but I used to play with Shayna Sands a bunch of times back when I was with the Arcade Hustlers. Fantastic local musician who's also played in a lot of other cities. I love Kat in the Nat 20s. It's a new band with Kat Mireles. Kat's such a good singer, and she's got some of the best band members around here. They're fantastic. And the Space Cadets, I play a lot of shows with Alex Blacksmith. I play drums for him. A shout out to Jonas, sound guy here, and he's in a bunch of bands too. Lots of inspiration there. I would describe my sound, from someone hearing me for the first time, as kind of a focus on percussion, a focus on rhythm, very dancey, heartfelt, soul-oriented, lots of keyboard sounds and lots of percussion. I would say the mood of my music, it's got a happiness to it. I'd say a joy to it for sure. I've got a couple sad songs, but even my sadder songs have the joy in my most recent project. My biggest artistic influence is Anderson .Paak from a drumming perspective and kind of a singing frontman perspective. FKJ, French Kiwi Juice, from like a looping perspective, fantastic musician, multi-instrumentalist, really good looper out there. Domi and JD Beck, just because they're a drum and piano piece, and I play drum and piano in my act. The way they chop things up and the chords they use and fantastic music they make, groundbreaking jazz in my opinion. From the piano world, I like Robert Glasper. I'll never play like him, but he's so good, and I've loved every record he's ever come out with. Someone said I sounded like Animal Collective. Kind of accurate, because they're a keyboard heavy band with lots of percussion, and they're kind of weird, and they like to experiment with rhythm. What makes my sound unique from others in the genre is kind of the amalgamation. Like I really borrow from a lot of places, especially with my rhythms and especially with the sounds that I choose from my keyboard. You know, I treat it kind of like a toy. Like I'm playing with new sounds as much as I can, and with new beats, trying to learn new beats and new styles that I can orient together and kind of bewilder the audience with. My music, every song is for kind of a different audience. Sometimes I write songs just for me. Sometimes I write songs for specific people. Sometimes I write songs that aren't for anyone. Sometimes I write songs that are for sure meant to be played on a stage. When someone listens to my music, I hope they feel like dancing. I hope they feel like getting up out of their seat and moving in some way. Yeah, I think there's a specific type of fan that enjoys my sound. Anybody who likes indie rock or alternative, anything experimental, anything funky, anything that's played with live drums. Because there's kind of a difference between, because I don't have any pads currently. Maybe someday I'll add some drum pads, but I play everything on acoustic drums. You know, and people who like keyboard loops. I have a song called One Day I'll Be Perfect. It's a soft song and it's got some cool rhythms to it, but it came from a really I don't know, it's not a sad place, but like a hopeful place, if you will. I was crying while I was writing it. I think I was just having a rough day being a parent, you know, and I wanted to be better. You know, finally got the kids to go take a nap, and you know, I was just stressed out and thinking. And sometimes when I do that, I start writing, and sometimes when I start writing, I can't stop. And that song came out quickly, and I think I got to perform it a few days later. And a few friends of mine after the show were like, "Hey, what was that one song that you were saying I'm sorry?" Because I say I'm sorry in the song, and I explained it to them and what it was about, and then they were crying by the end of the explanation. So and I've also had a few people message me that they heard the song online and were in tears, and so I think that might be my tearjerker, if you will. Being selected for the Golden Mic means so much to me. Looking at the other list, or the list of the other people, I'm just so glad to be a part of that, to think that I'm on the same level. With the Golden Mic, I'm just most excited about working with all these people and getting some like solid stuff out, because I'm just getting back into the scene, and I don't really have the resources to like do this on my own, and I especially don't have the team. So having a team just come out and help out the local community like this, it's just beyond awesome. I think opportunities like this matter so much in the Coastal Bend because everything needs to be created. People pretend like Los Angeles or Chicago or New York came out of nowhere. Like, these opportunities need to be created, and they need to be created by people. When people step up and create these opportunities, it begets more opportunity, and it inspires people to create more and more opportunity. My favorite song currently right now that I've written is definitely Trust Me. It was kind of the song that kicked off this whole project about my daughter. It's just kind of a simple song about how I love her and want her to trust me, and kind of exemplifies everything I want to do. I prefer the stage. I'd say about 40-60, morning and late night. I think my dream collaboration would be like Freddie Mercury or something. One word that describes my sound would be wild. One word that describes me, an artist, would be genuine. In a year from now, I want people to associate the name Ryan Garza with talent. When someone first discovers my music, I want them to remember the feeling, the literal waves hitting their body, vibrating the parts of their body that they didn't even know they had.